It's just one of those things where like I'll talk junk about him, he'll talk junk about me, but if someone else does it, we're like, hey, you better not talk about my Rhino, you know?
He's a living legend, one of the all-time greats, and he's taking the fight to honor no more on Impact Wrestling. He is Chuck Norris approved. He's David Hasselhoff approved. And his name is Heath. Dude, before we begin, how did you guys manage that, man? How did you get Chuck Norris and David Hasselhoff to give their seal of approval?
Brother, they're buddies of mine. my little girl learns karate from Chuck Norris and swimming lessons from Hasselhoff, man.
Oh, has he also taught you to like run in slow motion? Like,
yeah, all of that, all of his little secrets. I mean, I can chop onions and not even cry now.
Amazing, man. Tell me this, man. Like, you are known as one of the all-time great comedy wrestlers, and I'm not exaggerating, right? Like, how did you go from that to becoming such a serious character right now on Impact Wrestling?
It's one of those things that where like naturally I'm a funny guy anyway. Like I like to cut up, I like to have a good time, you know, all that stuff. But if you get out of line, I bust your ass. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where like in WWE, man, it's like, you know, they give you a script, you got to go with it. Yes, I'm pretty good at the little comedy stick just because I'm not afraid to make an ass of myself, you know, like I don't care. But like when I went to Impact, like I knew everyone was going to think, oh, if he shows up somewhere, he's just going to start doing the same little comedy role. To where when I first got to Impact and we were wanting to be serious about me signing, I told him, I said, hey, I ain't going to be the butt end of any of these jokes anymore. I said, if anything, you know, like I'm going to be the one making the jokes. I want to have fun, you know, I want to still be that charismatic guy. I said, but I want to be more of a serious, hey, let's go if you want to go type of fight wrestler, because that's who I am in real life. You know, like I'll be that guy like, okay, man, we don't have to do this, but if you push me too far, we're going to do it. You know, so it's like I want to contribute that into that, you know, like, but make it wrestling and make it entertaining and that type deal. And they said, okay, let's do it. Let's run with it. So the good thing about Impact is that they listen. They're good with storytelling, and they let you actually have some say in what you want to do, you know. And that's the good thing about us as wrestlers. It like it brings out what we're thinking, what we're picturing, and everything. It brings that out, and it's good for us because like other places you don't really get that option. You know, you pretty much get handed a script and you got to read what's on it, and hopefully you don't stumble with your words out there. But the good thing about Impact is like, all right, here's your bullet points. You got 2 minutes, nail it. It's like, heck yeah.
No, so I mean, just building off of that, is it much more fulfilling right now? Because you have been known as such a, you know, it's like asking Michael C. Hall to play another character that is not Dexter. We know Heath as the comedy guy. Now we have seen him as something else. So is it creatively fulfilling to do something else after so many years of doing comedy?
Oh yeah. It's totally, you know, yes. The answer is yes to that. Because, you know, if you do something over and over and over and over and over and over again, you get tired of it. You get burned out. You know, I mean, that's just life in general and anything you do. But it's like me doing that stuff over and over and over and over again, and then them just recycling it with me doing it with different people over and over and over again. It just became like, come on, man. Like I got more in me than just doing this stuff. But no, it was just it was like a fresh breath of air, you know, walking into Impact, knowing that, you know, they'll listen and say, yeah, man, let's try this. Let's try that. You know, it's like, it's good to be heard.
Amazing, man. And would you say the same for all the people you're working with? I mean, say Mike and Maria, who are also there, and you're working with them right now. Do they also have, I mean, it translates to what we see on screen for sure. But would you say like all of your former colleagues have that kind of enthusiasm right now?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all having fun. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's one of those things where you don't hear. It's my big guard dog over there if you hear it. But it's one of those things where, like, you know, it's relieving knowing that, like, you can go to a place to work and it being, you know, people will let you pretty much come up with your storyline, come up with your verbiage, come up with that. It's more of you're more comfortable, you know. But then, like, you know, in other places, you know, you got to say a word for word everything, you know, to where, like, you can. It's like words you don't ever use, and then you have to try to remember them, and then you fumble them. You know, it happens all the time. But I feel like anyone that comes from one place like that to, you know, Impact, it's like, whoa, it works like this? Well, we can do this? Wow. Okay, this is awesome. You know, like, it's just, you know, you get that fun of wrestling back. But I feel like, you know, a lot of guys, you know, has got that from Impact.
Amazing. So you have a huge match coming up at Victory Road. Could you preview it for the Indian audience?
Yeah, Victory Road, September 23rd, man. We got a 6-man tag. Me, Josh Alexander, Rich Swann against Honor No More. Yeah, man, Honor No More has just been a thorn in our sides for a while now. And, you know, like, I've been after him. I've been hitting him with wake-up calls left and right, and I've been having fun doing it. And but they, you know, they wanted to pick on Josh and they wanted to beat up on Swann, you know. So finally, you know, we got, you know, 3 dudes that's ready to line up with them and go at them. And it's going to happen at Victory Road. And there's going to be fireworks, hopefully some blood, and hopefully we'll win.
Amazing. Let's. I know that all of India is rooting for you guys, you to win. Do you know how popular you are in India? I'm sure you have seen all the comments from social media, all the love from India. Have you had any kind of experiences? Have you been asked to come to India and perform in the past?
I don't think so. No, I don't think I have actually. But no, I see a lot of love from India for sure, like on Instagram, on Twitter, and stuff like that. But I don't think so. No, I have to look again. But at the moment, I don't think I have. No. Hopefully, you know, with Impact, you know, being on Euro Sports India now and everything, you know, hopefully, you know, it's leaning in the right direction so Impact can come over.
Cool, man. So you are one of the few people who has carried a storyline from, you know, one company into another. I mean, the whole pairing with Rhino, which was strange to start off with, but you guys made it work and made it work so beautifully. You carried it to Impact Wrestling, and it worked beautifully in Impact Wrestling as well. What is it about your chemistry with Rhino that works so awesome?
Well, I think it's because we're yin and yang. We are just 2 totally opposite dudes. I mean, we really are. Like, I mean, like that's like, I've known him for 7 years now, I think, something like that. I've traveled with him. I've roomed with him. Like, he's became my brother, and that's a fact. Like, I fight someone over him. But it's one of those things to where, like, he can get on my last nerve, and I can get on his last nerve, you know? But it's just, he is legit a character, but I am too. Like, I'm like that loose cannon, and he's more of a reserved Rhino now, you know, just more of a, doesn't really want to get in too much like fun and trouble, wants to just get to the room, go to bed. You know, he's on that end of the stick now. But no, man, I love that dude a lot. Like, he has literally became one of my best friends. And, you know, tagging with him, traveling the world with him, just, you know, it's been a lot of fun with him, man. And now, you know, we're in Impact together. And I get to see him, you know, every other week. And it's one of those things to where, you know, we're still kicking it and having a good time. And hopefully we'll get those Impact titles one day. But nah, man, I love that man beast.
Is there maybe a behind the scenes story that none of our viewers, our readers know about between you and Rhino?
Is there any what?
Maybe a behind the scenes story of, you mentioned how you are yin and he's yang. So is that a story like that?
I mean, man, everyone always says we argue like a married couple. It's just one of those things where like I'll talk junk about him, he'll talk junk about me, but if someone else does it, we're like, hey, you better not talk about my Rhino, Yeah, it's just funny the way that people like talk about us and like just how we are. I remember there was this one time we landed in somewhere in California, and I forget what city, but we were driving to LA, and I wanted to go to a Dodgers game, and he just was like, all right, yeah, let's do that, and then so we driving from whatever city towards LA, we stopped at this gas station. There's this random gas station. I had to use the bathroom. So I go in to use the bathroom, I use it. I go back to the car. He's in the car. He's like, hey, you got everything? I was like, yeah, man, let's go. So we're driving. We're literally maybe 15, 20 minutes from the LA stadium to the Dodgers stadium. And I'm like, shoot, man, like, I don't know where my wallet's at, like, where's my wallet? No. So Rhino is so old school that this guy still keeps his receipts after every transaction he gets. Like, he counts receipts for taxes, all this stuff. Instead of just getting one card and keeping it on there and printing it out, he literally keeps every receipt. So I'm just like, man, I guarantee I left at the gas station. Oh man, this sucks, this and that, da-da-da. Rhino was like, well, let's go back and get it, and I was like, man, it's like an hour and a half back, I said, we're gonna miss the game and everything. I said, how about I drop you off the hotel and I'll just drive back? He's like, no, we're in it together. And I'm like, dang, okay. And then by the time we got back to the gas station, he had the receipt, thank God. He found the address on the receipt, called the guy. The guy answered, and I had the phone. I was like, hey, man, about an hour and a half ago, I went in there. We used to get a bathroom. He was like, you lost your wallet? I said, yes, I did, actually. He's like, I got it at the front desk or up there at the front counter if you want to come get it. I'm like, thank goodness, yes. So I get there. I had like $200 cash or something in it, with my cards and everything. Hands it right to me, money's still in it, card's still in it. I handed him like $40. Like, here, man, thank you. He's like, nah, man. He's like, karma will come back to me. I don't do that. I was like, dang, man, this is a great day. But we still missed the Dodgers game, though. But the good thing about it is we're 20 minutes from the town. I could have dropped Rhino off because I know he's wanting to sleep, but he's like stuck with me to go back, which I probably would have done the same thing. But it's one of those things to where, like, he's my buddy. It's true friendship. And what you see on camera is pretty much what you see in the back, too.
That's such a warm, wholesome story. I mean, that was such a cool story, man. And I can only imagine their reactions, right? When Heath and Rhino pull up together. I mean, two pro wrestlers that everybody in the world knows. They pull up at a gas station. That must be so cool. You were saying, sorry.
You what?
No. So I just wanted to continue and tell you that Mickie James, another one of your esteemed colleagues, she's in her final run, I guess, as absolutely, in Impact Wrestling. She's she's on her retirement tour, so to speak. I'm guessing you are also a fan of hers, just like I am. So what do you think, looking back at her career, what are some of your fondest memories working with her?
Mickie, man, she's a sweetheart. The good thing about me and her is like we like grew up in I'm from West Virginia, she's from Virginia, so we're like right in the same area and everything. Like, but no, she is. I mean, she's a legend. Like, that's bottom line. She's a legend. I mean, she's worked for pretty much every company. She's the only person that I know of that can work for a company and hold the women's title and still go to the Royal Rumble and bring the title and her music out. Like, that's unheard of. They never really let that happen. But no, to me, man, Mickie's a legend inside the ring and out. Just, her careers was great, and she's accomplished so much. But if you knew Mick outside the ring too, that she's a sweetheart, she's caring, she's kind, you know, she's a good mama, you know, so it's just one of those things that I call Mickie a friend, you know, because I've known her, since 2009, you know, so it's one of those things I've known her forever. And she's always been good to me, always been sweet, kind, you know, courteous and everything. So, but no, I have nothing but good things to say about Miss James. That's what I call her all the time. I'm like, hey, Miss James.
Amazing. So my final question to you, all of us in India, we're excited about Bound for Glory. Yeah. Why should we watch the pay-per-view?
Why? Because it's Impact's biggest pay-per-view. Bound for Glory, man. It's always a good show. There's always going to be surprises. There's always going to be something that's going to have the internet talking. Why not watch it live? You know what I mean? But no, definitely Bound for Glory is one of those pay-per-views that you definitely, if you're an Impact fan or not, or just a plain old wrestling fan, you want to get Bound for Glory. And Slammiversary. Those two are like neck and neck with that, man. It's like Mania and SummerSlam. It's like Bound for Glory, you know, and Slammiversary. So it's one of those pay-per-views that if you're a wrestling fan in general, you should watch it. But if you're an Impact fan, you better not miss it.
Amazing. So thank you so much for your time. And I wish you the best of luck for Victory Road. I'm sure that's going to be a great match. And hope your kids are doing well too.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
Wonderful. Awesome, man. Cool. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, my man.